Well, what are you waiting for?
I don't know. Something amazing, I guess.
Welcome back to Kirill Smash's Acting. I'm Kirill Smash, actor, educator, cat enthusiast. Fun fact, this little kitten right here looks exactly like my cat professor did when he was a kitten, and that's why I love this shirt so much. Today's day one of a series that we are going to call Masterclass. In this series, we are going to break down a scene that I think exemplifies everything that we talk about on this channel. Smart acting, using your whole body, understanding how the body is an instrument, and really being able to master how you play it. For the inaugural episode of this series, I want to investigate one of my favorite scenes from a show that I think is critically underrated. And by critically, I don't mean by the critics, I mean by the general public overall. I never hear anybody talking about this show, and every single time I teach a class where I have to talk about different styles or methods of acting, I break out this scene so I could show my students what it is I'm actually talking about and how a professional applies their craft. So the show we're going to be talking about today is the first episode of a show called The Returned. This is originally a French show, and it does have an American adaptation, but I really recommend watching the original. The scene we're going to be watching stars Anne Consigny as the mother, and Yara Pilaritz as the daughter coming home. Now, anybody who knows me knows that I took French in high school and I did terrible. So if I butcher any of the names during this episode, please don't kill me in the comments over it. I tried. So what's happening in this scene? For those of you who haven't seen the show at all, minor spoilers ahead though, this is the entire premise of the show, so I'm not spoiling too much. But again, go watch it. I cannot recommend it enough. So here's what we're going to see in the scene. The mom is taking care of the house, frustrated at her older daughter for leaving a mess around the house when her younger daughter comes home. Funny part about that is the younger daughter's been dead for about 4 years and has been long gone, buried, and grieved over. So what we're going to see in the scene is the mother at home taking care of the house and frustrated that her older daughter has left quite a mess around the house. At that exact moment, her younger daughter comes home. The whole premise of the show is that her younger daughter and many of her schoolmates were killed in a school bus accident 4 years ago. The younger daughter has no idea what happened. She woke up at around the site of the accident and started walking home, while everyone else in this town has dealt with their grief for 4 years and are trying to move on from the tragedy that has haunted this town since. That's the setup. So what are we looking for? Now, I don't want it to simply be somebody did a good job or did a bad job. The whole point of this series is to break down what exactly are they doing that captures our attention so much, or that conveys the story that they're trying to tell. We're going to be talking about a lot of concepts, many of which we've covered in the 101 section, and some which we will cover but haven't gotten to yet. So we're going to watch how an actor applies many of the techniques and concepts we talk about to create the story that the writers are trying to tell. Many of the times the writer gives simply the words and some basic actions, and the actor fills in the rest. In this scene, we're going to keep our focus mainly on the character of the mother. What I want you to watch is how the actor goes after her objectives, with the different tactics she uses, and how she gets around her obstacles. What I love about this scene is that she barely says a word, so we get to see the actor bring the character to life, not just the text, but the actor use their entire body, their breath, their speed, their movement, their eyes, the way their voice trembles, everything they have in their instrument to bring this character and this story to life. Honestly, the first time I saw the show, I had to stop it right there. Her work moved me to the point where I couldn't keep watching. So now that you have the intro, let's get started. Warning, subtitles ahead. So here we see her going through her nightly routine. You can tell by her body language just how upset she is with the state of this room, mostly the cleanliness. Here comes her younger daughter, who has no idea that she's been dead for 4 years. And you can tell that she knows she's in trouble. She's gasping, she's moving quite quickly. Her body language shows that she's quite tired from whatever she's been going through. From the physical posture and the way that she walks, you could tell that she's not really happy right now.
Léna!
Let's pause right there. The way that her physicality and her breathing changed the moment she saw her young daughter, or thought she saw her young daughter, is pivotal. You get to see a transition in the character just by the way the actor is moving through the space. As you continue watching, I want you to compare and contrast the physical movements between the actor playing the young girl and the actor playing her mother. Let's keep going. Notice how still everything is with her.
Je sais,
She
maman, il est
doesn't
hyper
talk
tard. Je
unless
suis
she
vraiment désolée, t'as dû
absolutely
t'inquiéter comme
has
une
to.
folle, mais
All of
je te
the
jure que c'est pas de ma
expressions
faute.
and the
Il m'est arrivé un
stillness of
truc
her
hyper
face.
bizarre. Me regarde pas comme ça, s'il te plaît. Je sais que ça a l'air complètement tordu, mais je me suis retrouvée dans la montagne au-dessus du barrage. Je sais pas ce qui s'est passé, j'ai mis 1 heure à rentrer. Faut que tu me crois, maman, je te raconte pas de conneries.
That look alone right there tells you everything you need to know about the character and how she feels about the situation.
J'ai trop faim. Ça va, maman?
Ouais, ça va.
Elle est là, Léna?
Non. Elle est chez une copine.
C'est moche, ça.
Alright, so we're at the end of this unit right here. The mother only spoke when she absolutely had to. Now, if you notice, she spoke in very short, very clipped bursts. Yes, that is absolutely the screenwriter setting up the actor for success. But the actor could have chosen to deliver those lines in any way she felt was appropriate. So the fact that she decided she needed to get through them as quickly as possible, she kept her breath tight into her body. She barely moved. That's what tells us how afraid she is in this situation. Now, I don't mean afraid necessarily in the sense that she's in danger, but afraid that this might not be real. Let's talk about her given circumstances for a moment. She's been going through her daily life, grieving her daughter for 4 years, and then all of a sudden her daughter is here. No matter what, from this point on, her world is different. Either her brain is completely broken, meaning that she's seeing something that is absolutely not real, but to her, everything about it is real. If that is the case, could you imagine as the person going through this, what that means for your life? That your brain has just been destroyed to that point. The other option is, if this is real, how long can it stay? The fear of losing your daughter again, the fear of doing too much and ending this situation, that's what captures her at this moment. That's why she has to speak in such quick, short steps. That's why she can't just run over and embrace the daughter who I'm sure she misses more than anything in the entire universe. Because if she goes over and makes a mistake and her daughter is gone again, then she could never live with herself. So she chooses to slowly observe the situation instead of pushing an interaction, as much as I'm sure she would love to just run over there and embrace her daughter. As we continue to watch the scene, I want you to study the physicality of the actor and how she uses the different parts of her body to tell the story. Alright, let's continue. I have to pause it right there because I just love the way she comes up those stairs. At first, quick because she doesn't want to miss any possible time with her daughter, and then slow because the reality and the danger of the situation is pressing on her. Watch her arms as she goes up the stairs and through the hall. I think that little piece alone is a brilliant piece of physical acting. «
1,
m'apporter mon peignoir, s'il te plaît?
And right there, as she gets so close and sees how real it actually feels, her entire rhythm physically changes. She starts breathing quickly. She runs through the halls quickly because, again, she doesn't want her daughter to disappear. Let's keep watching. Watch that quick rhythm. Very chaotic because her brain can't really comprehend what's happening.
Merci.
Once again, after that interaction, her body clenches down and everything slows down for her. To this day, this is one of my favorite scenes to examine an actor working. You could tell in her face everything that the character is thinking. For actors, we call that the inner monologue. So even when she's not speaking, you know exactly what's happening in her brain. She uses different physical rhythms to tell us what's happening in her brain and in her body and how she feels about it. Anybody who's ever been in a really stressful situation knows that it's not just mental. You could physically feel what's happening to your brain throughout your body. Maybe when you're nervous, you get clenched up in your stomach, or you get butterflies, or you can't breathe. So she uses all of those tools to show us what's happening in the story in between the words. Let's talk about objective. What does she want in this scene? She wants to keep her daughter in the house. She's lost her once before, and she doesn't want to have to go through that kind of pain and that grieving process again. Now, of course, she might not know how to do that, but she's thinking on the fly of the different tactics she could use. Now, a tactic is what a character does to get their objective. So in the scene, she tries not to talk too much, because if it is an illusion, the illusion may not be able to talk back, and then the illusion is broken and she loses her daughter again. She gets rid of the vigil in her daughter's room, because that might break whatever's happening. She then eventually ends up calling her ex-husband because she needs someone else to see that this is real. Let's think about what are some obstacles in her way. Number one is the external obstacle that her daughter is dead and buried. So whatever is happening has completely changed the world around her. Number two is the logical side of her brain. The logical side of her brain knows that this isn't real, that there's no way this could be real because her daughter's dead. She was there. She saw the dead body. She was at the funeral. We can assume that based on the fact that 4 years have gone by, that she has long gone through the grieving process and has tried to move on with her life. So I hope this has been informative. I didn't want it to go too far down the rabbit hole, or we could break down this scene for hours. If you like this scene, I really encourage you to check out the series as a whole. I'll have a link in the description if you want to find the series. There's only 2 seasons and it is incredibly binge-worthy. So check it out because it's really an amazing watch. So if there's any scene you want me to talk about, anything you think I missed in this scene, or anything about acting at all, let me know in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button and I'll see you next time. Say bye, Poofy. Bye, Poofy.